Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you my to be read pile for February and March 2024. So yay, a new year, my next TBR. Let's get going. As for the previous TBR, that was December and January, another successful 2 months of reading. And as always, reviews will eventually get up. I do have written reviews on Goodreads. If you're ever curious about my thoughts about books like early, I always put Goodreads reviews up immediately as soon as I'm done with a book, so that way it's fresh in my head. And then, yeah, the video reviews, because I'm so far behind on like video reviews, because I only upload so many videos a month. Yeah, video reviews, they eventually get up like months and months after the fact. But they will be there. So yeah, the previous TBR, very successful. Definitely some highs, a few lows in there, but for the most part, really good. And let's get going with February and March. I'm definitely super excited about this batch. For my last TBR, I was telling you guys that's something I wanted to do here in the year of 2024. I really wanted to have another year of trying to reread some books because I just don't get to reread books as often as I would like. So my goal for this year, I really want to get through a lot of rereading for Philippa Gregory's historical fiction, because I love Philippa Gregory. She's kind of one of the first writers that got me into historical fiction, because one of her first books that I read was The Other Boleyn Girl, back when it kind of first came out, and The Other Boleyn Girl is what really got me into my love of historical fiction. So I really thank Philippa Gregory for that. So yeah, I want to continue reading Philippa Gregory this year, obviously. So what I plan on reading in, rereading, I shall say, what I plan on rereading in February, The White Queen. And this is like the start of Philippa Gregory's Cousins War series. And this is following Elizabeth Woodville, who marries King Edward the Fourth, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, everything going on during the War of the Roses, which I am obsessed with. So yeah, that's what this book is about. And then, yeah, in March, I plan on reading the next book in the Cousins War, and that is The Red Queen. And this is following Margaret Beaufort, is that her name? Yeah, Margaret Beaufort. I had to think about that. This is following Margaret Beaufort, who is the mother of the future Henry VII, who is the father of Henry VIII. Yeah, guys, all that drama. Yeah, I do. I love both of these books in the Cousins War, so I'm super excited to have a reread of these. I have reread these books in the past, but yeah, the last time I read them was definitely a good decade ago. But yeah, I definitely want to do another reread. They're very rereadable, I think. So, keeping up with historical fiction, and this is a trilogy, you guys. I want to accomplish reading a trilogy as well for this TBR. I think a lot of you are going to be excited for this one, and that is the Wolf Hall trilogy by Hilary Mantel. I have been dying to read this trilogy, you guys, and y'all know how much I love historical fiction. Y'all know how much I love Tudor historical fiction in particular, and I have heard nothing but amazing things about the Wolf Hall trilogy. You know what? I don't even think it's called the Wolf Hall trilogy now that I think about it. I think it's called the Thomas Cromwell trilogy, ain't it? I think it's called the Thomas Cromwell trilogy now that I think about it. Yeah, years and years ago, there was an adaptation of Wolf Hall that aired on PBS over here in America, and I really liked that miniseries. And believe it or not, they're actually making a second series that is coming out later this year, and I guess it's going to be adapting this final book, because I think the first series actually did these first two because it had a lot to do with like Anne Boleyn and yeah, leading up to the beheading and execution of Anne Boleyn. So I think this second season is going to be doing this final book that kind of recently came out just not too long ago. So yeah, I think it's kind of self-explanatory, just me kind of talk about what these books were about. They take place in Tudor England, and your primary character, to the best of my understanding, is that it's following Thomas Cromwell, who was kind of like, what would you describe his role? He's kind of like one of the advisors to Henry VIII during this time period, and he kind of has a very up and down relationship with Henry VIII, and yeah, I don't really want to. Well, history's not a spoiler, but still, I don't want to get into spoilers with the fate of Thomas Cromwell. But yeah, I am super excited to get to this trilogy. Yeah, the first book in the trilogy is Wolf Hall, and then the next one is Bring Up the Bodies, and then, oh Lord, I'm trying to stuff all these books under my arm here, and then the third book is this one right here, The Mirror and the Light. I just realized I have nothing but historical fiction so far on this TBR, but you know what? I'm not going to complain. I love that. It's just funny because I think one of my last TBRs, or maybe even the one before that, maybe the last two to be quite honest, I've had a lot of like mystery related type books, so that's okay. I'll deal with all these historical fiction. I love it. It's my favorite genre. I have this book right here that I'm going to be reading. It is The Romanov Brides, a novel of the last Tsarina and her sisters. And I actually won this on a Goodreads giveaway. Yes, it's kind of one of those rare occasions on the Goodreads giveaways when I actually win a book that I'm like super excited to read, you guys. And yeah, this book is coming out sometime in March, so I'll try to kind of get around to it before the actual book is published, but I guess we'll see. But either way, I'm going to try to pull this out at some point. So yeah, what is this book about? I'll read the synopsis to you guys really quickly. They were granddaughters of Queen Victoria and two of the most beautiful princesses in Europe. Princesses Alex and Ella were destined to wed well and wisely, but while their grandmother wants to join them to the English and German royal families, the sisters fall in love with Russia and the Romanovs. Defying the queen's dire warnings, Ella weds the Tsar's brother, Grand Duke Sergei. Cultivated, aloof, and proud, Sergei places his young wife on a pedestal for all to admire. Behind palace gates, Ella struggles to secure private happiness. Alex, whisked away to Russia for Ella's wedding, meets and captivates Nicky, heir apparent to the Russian throne. While loving him deeply, Alex hears a call of conscience urging her to walk away. Girl, you probably should have walked away. Their fateful decisions to marry will lead to tragic consequences for not only themselves and their families, but for millions in Russia and around the globe. I can read you guys. Yes, I can't wait to get to this. I love the story of Alex or Alexandra and Princess Ella. It's just so tragic and upsetting. And I do have room for something from my TBR jar. Let's dig in and pick out something here. And as always, I need to like dig somewhere near the bottom, near the middle, because I have not shuffled it. It's like all the new books are on the top. Okay, let's dig in there. I feel like I'm still going to pick out something new. Watch, somehow, out of all the hundreds, there's literally hundreds of little pieces of paper in here, you guys. Somehow, out of the hundreds of pieces of paper in here, I'm going to pick out something like brand new. Hopefully that's not the case, because the point of the TBR jar is to pick out, things that maybe you've had lying around on your shelf for years and you're just now getting around to it, So yeah, let's see. Hopefully it's something good. Oh yes. Yes. I'm excited for this one. Now, the question is, where in my room is this book exactly? Okay, after probably almost 10 minutes of searching around in my room where I'm now out of breath trying to find this book. Whew, let's breathe. The book that I picked from my TBR jar was the seven and a half Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. Ooh, I've seen a lot of people on Goodreads reading this book, so yeah, I'm glad I picked this out. Yeah, what is it even about? I can't even quite remember what it's about. Let's see. Okay, Evelyn Hardcastle will die. I think that's apparent from this title. Every day until Aidan Bishop can identify her killer and break the cycle. Oh, okay, so she's going to die until her murder's like solved, I guess. But every time the day begins again, Aidan wakes up in the body of a different guest. Oh, and some of his hosts are more helpful than others. Oh, okay. And then like up here, it says something about Evelyn Hardcastle will be murdered at 11 p.m. There are 8 days and 8 witnesses for you to inhabit. We will only let you escape once you tell us the name of the killer. Understood? And let's begin. Oh, this sounds so good. Oh, I can't wait to get to this. This sounds super promising, super intriguing. Like I said, I've seen a ton of people talking and reading this book, so yay! So you guys, that is it for the books that I plan on reading for the next 2 months. In the comments below, any of these books that you guys have read and enjoyed, or maybe you did like one of these books, let me know. Let me know what you plan on reading for the next month or 2. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.